Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk a little bit about father. And what I mean by that is the attack on the father. First, the enemy had to take the father out of the home. Many families across the United States are broken. Divorce rates are skyrocketing. Many people today don't want to get married. The attack on the family is an attack on really the basis of the United States of America, its ability to stay a free, liberty-minded country. This country was founded on the idea that only a strong Christian nation could be free. And what they meant by that, in my opinion, is that it had to have a strong value system. The values of Christianity are the best in the world. The founders, though they weren't all Christians, they did understand, the majority of them did, that you had to have a society that could govern itself. And for it to do that, it had to have a moral compass. And that moral compass is best in a Christian society. This is why we have a country with think about it. When they ratified the Constitution, they also figured, wait a minute, we need a Bill of Rights, right? Why? To empower the sovereignty of the individual citizen. So the power couldn't be at the top. The Federalist Papers, that was the problem with the Federalist Papers, is that the power, so much of it was at the top. The old pyramid, the pyramid scheme comes from that. What the founders did is they inverted that, right? They put the power with the people. And they used the sovereignty that God gives each of his people, which is free will. And that is why the founders set the system up the way that they did. Now, this isn't a constitutional education. That's not my point right now. My point is really to talk about the attack on the father. You have the father of this country, George Washington. These founders are being vilified. George Washington being the biggest profile. Then probably the next would be Lincoln, as far as what people think about. There's many years between those two being president, but two huge individuals that helped the founding of this country and help it evolve. But now we're in a situation where they're being vilified. You saw the statues being taken down, things like that, a misrepresentation of the past and trying to rewrite history, whole other conversation. But the attack on the father is a big deal for the devil himself. We're in demonic times. Our founders knew that as well. They knew the attack on liberty has been around forever. You can go all the way back to, Adam and Eve. What's the first thing that the devil wanted to do? The serpent was to break their unity with God, their free will, abuse it, manipulate it, confuse them, lie to them. Pure manipulation. That's what we're seeing today as well. The fight's the same, folks. There's no difference. You just got to interchange the different names. But what does that have to do with the attack on the father? Well, from the devil, the serpent, that was the very first fight, the attack on the father, God, between Adam and Eve, to separate them from him. Fast forward today, the same people with the same mindset to destroy liberty and freedom and sovereignty, they're doing the same thing. So they've removed the father out of the home. A lot of that happened in the 60s, this movement, peace and love, drugs, alcohol, a lot of bad stuff. And we're kind of dealing with that today. The kids of that time are the leaders of today, the young ones that are ratified, or radicalized, I should say. And then their radical parents are also the ones in office. The Bidens, the Pelosi's. People like that. Heck, also in the Republican Party as well. Some could say the Bushes. Whole other conversation. But the attack on the father. So inner cities, why is there a breakdown? Why is there so much violence? You saw with Chicago, what happened a week or so ago. Why so much violence? Why are people getting pulled out of their car and beat up, have done nothing, and their car gets burned up? And you have leaders of Chicago going, the new mayor going, oh, you can't blame the kids. Well, then who do you blame? I guess you blame the father. In that case, where are the fathers? Yes, we could say the mothers as well, but in this particular conversation, I'm talking about the father. Where are they? Well, they're not there. There's a division again. The division from the enemy, the devil, the demonic times that we're in. We have got to focus on the family. People are looking for legislators to fix the problems in this country. You cannot legislate morality. It's really the opposite. The people that have put in power today, their moral compass is way off. And what you're seeing is legislation that is immoral. Because the people themselves, the people like you and I, the ones who are supposed to be engaged more, have not been. Pick the 100 reasons why. It doesn't matter anymore. Now we don't have the luxury to sit back and do nothing. The attack on the father is huge. They've got God out of the house. They've got dad out of the house. And they're coming for the children because there's not a protector of mother and father. Heck, it's the point that it's mom and mom, dad and dad. That again is attack on the father, the family unit, the nucleus of what makes a powerful country. So we're going to focus on that on the Craig Bouchon Show, on my show. We got a great thing, a great movement called American coming. You can go to AmericaICan.com. It's great. Big things coming there. But really think about it. The attack on the father, something you need to focus on. Make sure that you do everything you can. If you see a divorce or something brewing in your family, whether it's your kids, your nephew, whatever, it's in your own family. Maybe you're watching this right now and you're thinking about getting a divorce. You think the grass is greener on the other side. Don't do it. Do everything you can to keep your family nucleus together. You will get through the tough time you're in. And of course, you put the caveat, if there's abuse, and things like that, of course, there are circumstances where you really have to get out. You need to unfortunately break that family unit up. But the supermajority of the time, you don't. The supermajority of the time, people just give up. And that plays in the hands of the enemy, the devil himself. So we're going to talk about that stuff on the show. I wanted to put that out there today. Make sure that you're paying attention to your own family nucleus, all right? Because it starts with you. It starts with me. We've got to get engaged with saving the United States of America, and that comes from within. It doesn't come from legislation. Legislation can help, but it's not the entire answer. That legislation is not going to happen until we have the people rallied together, putting in the right politicians who represent the correct moral compass of the United States of America, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to talk more about this on the show. God bless.